There is a divine shift happening in your life right now, chosen one. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but in the spiritual realm, everything is changing. God has been watching, and He has had enough. The very people who tried to break you, who laughed at your struggles, who took advantage of your kindness, they are about to face the judgment of the Almighty. For too long, you have suffered in silence. You have endured betrayal from the very people you trusted. Friends turned into enemies, family members turned against you, and those who once smiled in your face secretly wished for your downfall. They plotted, they schemed, they conspired, but they didn't know who they were dealing with. They thought they were attacking you, but in reality, they were waging war against God Himself. The enemy thought he had you. He thought the rejection, the loss, the pain would be enough to destroy you. But instead of breaking, you became stronger. Instead of losing your faith, you clung to God even more. Every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered, every night you spent in agony, God counted them all. He was never blind to your pain, and now He is stepping in. You see, God doesn't operate on human time. He is strategic, He is precise, and He is just. When the enemy attacks, God allows it, but only for a season, because He knows that what was meant for your harm will ultimately work for your good. The same people who thought they were burying you were actually planting you. And now, it's your season to rise. The tables are turning. The ones who lied about you will be forced to speak the truth. The ones who mocked you will be silenced. The ones who set traps for you will fall into their own pits. This is divine justice. Think about Joseph. His own brothers threw him into a pit, sold him into slavery, and left him for dead. But God elevated him, and when famine struck, those same brothers had to come before him, desperate, hungry, begging for mercy. Think about David. Saul hunted him, chased him, tried to destroy him out of jealousy. But God had already anointed him as king. And in the end, Saul fell on his own sword, while David took the throne. The same will happen for you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they were getting away with their actions. They thought God wasn't watching. But now, the moment of reckoning has arrived. God is about to make them witness your rise. He is about to prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And when they see you shining, when they see the blessings overflowing in your life, when they see you standing in victory, they will beg for mercy. They will wish they had never crossed you. They will wish they had treated you with kindness. They will regret every word they spoke against you, every action they took to harm you. But by then, it will be too late, because God is not just lifting you up, He is exposing them. He is stripping them of their false power, revealing their true intentions, and showing the world exactly who they are. And chosen one, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to fight back. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to lower yourself to their level. All you have to do is continue walking in obedience, continue trusting in God, and watch as He delivers justice on your behalf. This is your season of elevation. This is your moment of victory. And when it happens, the only thing your enemies will be able to do is fall to their knees and beg for mercy. But here's the thing, God is not just elevating you to get revenge. No, He is elevating you because He has chosen you for something greater. Your story is not just about proving your enemies wrong, it's about proving that God is always right. Everything you went through was preparation. Every struggle made you wiser. Every betrayal made you stronger. Every setback positioned you for an even greater comeback. And now, your breakthrough is here. So don't waste energy looking back. Don't worry about who is watching. Don't concern yourself with who is plotting. Because God is handling it all. Your only job is to step into the blessings He has prepared for you. And when you do, the world will see the power of God through you. They will see that no weapon formed against you ever prospered. They will see that God's favor is unstoppable. They will see that the chosen ones always win, and the very people who doubted you, the very ones who mocked you, the very ones who thought they had destroyed you, they'll have no choice but to bow their heads and beg for mercy. Chosen one, listen carefully. The shift is happening right now. Those who thought they could get away with their wickedness, those who laughed behind your back, those who tried to block your blessings, they are now facing divine judgment. They thought they had power over you. They thought they could manipulate and deceive without consequences. But what they didn't realize was that God had been watching everything from the very beginning. Every betrayal, every lie, every act of jealousy, it was all recorded in heaven. And now the time for judgment has come. The same people who celebrated your struggles are now falling into struggles of their own. The same mouths that gossiped about you are now calling out for help. The same hands that worked against you are now raised in desperation, begging for mercy. Why now? Why is this happening at this moment? Because your season of suffering has ended. You have endured the trials, the betrayals, the rejection. You have been tested, refined, and proven faithful to God. Now, it is your time to rise, and as you rise, your enemies will fall. Understand this. God is not punishing them just because of you. He is punishing them because of their own actions. They had choices. They had multiple opportunities to do right, to walk in righteousness, to repent for the harm they caused. But instead, they chose arrogance, deceit, and wickedness. And now, their choices have caught up with them. Look at Pharaoh in Egypt. He enslaved God's people, mistreated them, and refused to listen to Moses. Plague after plague came as a warning, but Pharaoh's heart remained hardened, until one day the destruction was too great. His army was swallowed by the Red Sea, and he was left powerless. The same is happening now in your life, chosen one. Your enemies had warnings. They had the chance to change. They had the chance to seek forgiveness. But instead, they continued in their evil, believing they were untouchable. But no one is untouchable when they go against a chosen one of God. And now, they are experiencing the very same pain they tried to inflict on you. Those who tried to isolate you are now feeling alone. Those who laughed at your struggles are now struggling. Those who tried to ruin your reputation are now being exposed. Because God will not be mocked. When he says, "Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm," he means it. But here's what you must remember. This is not about revenge. This is about divine order. God is a God of justice. He cannot allow evil to go unpunished forever. He gave them time. He gave them mercy. But they refused to change. And now they are reaping what they have sown. But here's the key, chosen one. Do not let their downfall distract you from your destiny. Because what God is doing for you right now is far greater than just exposing your enemies. He is elevating you. He is restoring you. He is preparing you for something much bigger. This is why you cannot let bitterness take over. You cannot waste your energy celebrating their downfall. Because while they are falling, you are rising. And the enemy would love nothing more than to keep you focused on them instead of focused on the future God has for you. Think about Joseph. When his brothers finally stood before him, starving and desperate, he had the power to destroy them. But what did he do? He forgave them. He blessed them. He told them, "What you meant for evil, God turned for good." That is the mentality you must have, chosen one. Your enemies are already experiencing judgment, but you are walking into your greatest season. You are stepping into your divine calling. You are receiving blessings beyond what you ever imagined. And as you move forward, some of your enemies will come back. Some will try to reconnect, pretending nothing happened. Some will suddenly act like they have always supported you. But be wise. God is revealing the truth for a reason. He is showing you who is real and who is fake. He is exposing hearts, not just for their judgment, but for your protection. Because not everyone who begs for mercy deserves access to your life again. God is elevating you to a level where not everyone can follow. Some people had to be removed, some relationships had to end, some doors had to close, because what's coming next for you is too great for small-minded people. So keep moving forward, chosen one. Keep your eyes on God. Keep walking in purpose, because the same people who tried to destroy you will now be watching your rise in awe, wishing they had never crossed you. The moment of divine justice has arrived, and now those who wronged you are beginning to realize the weight of their actions. The same people who mocked your struggles, plotted against your success, and doubted your potential are witnessing a shift they never expected. They thought they had won. They believed they had buried you, but what they failed to understand is that a chosen one cannot be destroyed. When they laughed at your pain, God was watching. When they tried to block your blessings, God was taking notes. And now, He has turned the tables in a way that no man can undo. As their world begins to crumble, they are left with no choice but to face the consequences of their actions. Their manipulations, their deceit, and their wicked schemes have all come full circle, and now they are the ones begging for mercy. They never imagined that their cruelty would come back to haunt them, yet here they are, desperate to escape the very judgment they once wished upon you. They are losing what they thought was secure. Their own plans are falling apart, and everything they built on lies is now collapsing before their eyes. The very people they once tried to impress are turning against them, and the reality they once controlled is slipping from their grasp. Some of them will try to come back. They will approach you with apologies, acting as if they have changed. They will speak of regret and claim they have learned their lesson. But chosen one, be wise. Not everyone deserves a second chance, and not every apology is sincere. Some of them are not sorry for what they did. They are only sorry that they got caught. They are not coming back because they love you. They are returning because they need something from you. They see the favor of God over your life, and they want to be attached to your rising. But God has removed these people for a reason. He saw what they did behind your back. He knows their true intentions, and He has pulled them away for your protection. Do not be deceived into reopening doors that God has shut. Some people are meant to stay in your past. They have already shown you who they are, and if you allow them back into your life, they will only repeat their betrayal. God is elevating you beyond their reach. Your life is moving into a new chapter, one where those who doubted you can no longer follow. There is no room for their negativity, their jealousy, or their deceit in the place God is taking you. Their time in your life has expired, and nothing can change that. While they struggle, you are rising. While they beg for mercy, you are walking into favor. While they cry over the consequences of their actions, you are receiving blessings that cannot be stopped. And the most powerful part? Your elevation has nothing to do with revenge. It is simply God fulfilling His promises. He declared that He would make your enemies your footstool. He promised that no weapon formed against you would prosper. He assured you that those who dig a pit for you will fall into it themselves. And now, His word is coming to pass. But chosen one, listen carefully. Your rise is not about them. This is not about proving anything to those who doubted you. This is about fulfilling your divine purpose. God is using your story to send a message. Those who stand against His chosen will never succeed. Those who try to destroy His anointed will always fail. This is a divine law that cannot be broken. Just like Pharaoh, who refused to let God's people go and was ultimately swallowed by the Red Sea, those who came against you are now being consumed by their own evil. They had every chance to turn back. They were warned. They were given opportunities to repent. But instead, they continued on their wicked path, believing there would be no consequences. Now their time is up. But do not waste your energy looking back. The past is gone, and what's ahead is far greater than anything you have left behind. Remember Lot's wife. She looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. Curiosity, guilt, or sympathy must not distract you from your destiny. Some people are suffering because of their own choices, and that is not your battle. Your job is to keep moving forward, to step fully into the blessings God has prepared for you. What's coming next is beyond anything you have ever imagined. The doors that once seemed impossible are now opening. The opportunities that were once blocked are now flowing toward you. The favor of God is covering you like never before, and this is only the beginning. So let them beg. Let them watch as you rise. Let them deal with the consequences of their own actions. You, chosen one, are walking straight into your divine destiny, and nothing can stop you now.